It's David's show. He's David and he's got a show.
Hello, everyone. I have just been sitting here eating some Papa John's wings. Not sponsored, because I have 5 subscribers. Why would anyone sponsor me? But I always like it, as I've said when YouTubers are like, I'm not sponsored. Like, I don't care if you were, as though they're trying to trick us or something. Because I'm a journalist, which is just one of the many jobs that I have where I have to do this with my hands. I'm also a filmer and a movie star and a good person. No, that one, never mind. But I went out and saw Bourne Legacy like 5 minutes ago, and I just got back and I just wrote everything down, and we're gonna see how this goes, because you know what, I enjoy reviewing these movies because I'll have something to look back on when I go to the store in 3 months and go, oh, do I want to have this movie on DVD? I have a ton of DVDs. In fact, I have so many DVDs that for the first time I don't have enough shelves to fit some of them on. So, because I was like, you know what, I was like, how much could it be? Like 1 shelf. So I got all the DVDs out, and they don't fit on that shelf over there. So some of them are in my closet over there. Some of the ones that just didn't make the cut, I'm sorry. Early Doctor Who that isn't Christopher Eccleston and on. That's what takes up the majority of my shelf is Doctor Who. But anyway, I thought I would review this movie. So let's get into the plot of this movie, which is Aaron Cross. This Aaron Cross, who's not Jason Bourne, even though it's Bourne Legacy, it's Aaron Cross. Who's Jeremy Renner, who many of you may better know as Hawkeye from Avengers, who, really good job in Avengers. He's part of a government spy program, although the people who made this were obviously never going to use the word spy. I think he was I don't know what he was something. Some sort of, they never really explained that, but I'll get into that in a second. Which maybe Jason Bourne was part of. That's never brought up really either. Matt Damon, who only gets... Matt Damon isn't in this movie, if anyone was wondering. He gets a photo of him looking really dorky, and that's about it. Maybe, but he might have been part of this program, or might not. I did not fixate on that a lot. I didn't get that. For some reason, this program has to be torn down. And they do that with explosions and shooting people early on in the movie to amp up the tension. And amp up the tension they did, but I didn't really get why. So he gets, okay, I'm going to mess up both of these names. Dr. Marta Shearing is who Aaron Cross goes off on a whirlwind adventure with, who's played by Rachel Weisz. I know she's married to Daniel Craig. I looked that up on IMDb like 5 seconds ago, because that was all I could figure out to do. She was also in The Mummy. I did not know that either. She's apparently married to Daniel Craig. Who knew? So there's a lot of spy stuff going on, even outside the movie. And she needs to help him get better, maybe, because there's green pills and blue pills, and, you know, if it were up to me, I'd take the red pill, but that's just me. I'm totally kidding. I totally take the blue pill and live in the Matrix forever. Also, there's spy stuff that goes on from a lot of the movie. Who knew in a spy movie there'd be spy stuff? Also, 2 people who I wanted to mention who are in this movie. Ed Norton, who you may remember as the Hulk for like 5 seconds before Mark Ruffalo took over in the previous one. I was like, Ed Norton? Okay. He's in it, and he's playing his weird kind of psycho self that is evil and things. Although he doesn't... It's weird, because I wanted to have some sort of conflict there. I'll get to that in a second. And then Donna Murphy is in it. I was scrolling through the IMDb and I was like, Donna Murphy! And she looks as lost as I was for parts of this movie, plot-wise. But Ed Norton and Donna Murphy. And for those of you who don't know who Donna Murphy is, you can go watch Tangled, which she was in, or you can go see any Broadway play before 1990. No, not even that, before 2010. She was a big name. This is an August release, so don't expect any big big blockbusters, I went and saw, what else did I see this week? I saw the Meryl Streep movie, Hope Springs. And I like that. Go see that. That's a good movie. And they're bringing out a lot of movies that aren't really main summer movies like Avengers or Batman or any of the Spider-Man, any of the big budget ones. They save these at end of summer just to kind of fizzle people out before Christmas season rolls around. We get Les Mis. But you know, they obviously the studios like throw Bourne on there since it is a Bourne sequel. And I believe, I didn't get to look this up, the director or there's a lot of the original Bourne team on this movie, so good news there. And yeah, there's what happened behind the scenes. It's an entertaining movie. Go see it. Entertaining. If you want a quick review, entertaining. Good. Go see it. And it has some. One of the things I like. It kind of reminded me of Salt, if anyone remembers that. Because it had really well choreographed action scenes, and I was never clueless. Because usually, you know what I'm talking about. There's action scenes where it'll be like punch and then cut, and then punch and then cut, and then punch and then cut. But it was a very good action scene there, and one of the things I will say, although I didn't understand a lot of the plot, other than the basic storyline, which it was really centered around Jeremy Renner and not this whole kind of conspiracy world. Although that's sort of going on around, you can tell, but it actually invested me in the characters, which is hard for a lot of the times. I'll be like, oh, you just got shot, okay, but this one I was legitimately worried for Aaron Cross and the doctor who's going along with him, that doesn't travel through time and space. But it was a pretty good end of summer release, and it's a pretty good release period, but I mean, really good for end of summer. I will say though, it has a mediocre ending, and the reason it has a mediocre ending is because it has a terrible song at the end, and that's like, if you're gonna put a song at the end of a movie and not have original score and just get an artist to do this so they can push an album, get someone who knows catchy songs or someone who knows good songs, because this was neither of those. I'm okay with having a bad song as long as it's catchy. I am not okay with any of the songs that I've heard at the end of movies this cycle of summer movies, because we had that terrible one at the end of Madagascar 4, 3, whichever one it is, that if anyone puts that in the comments this time, anything that says the word circus or the word afro, when I die, which I don't think will be very soon, but when I die, I will become a ghost and haunt you, if you put that in the comments down there. So, fair warning. Or that terrible song that they made up at the end of the recent Ice Age, which, I'm gagging a bit from that terrible song. But and then it's a bit boring in a lot of places. The middle was just, I daydreamed for most of that movie, although it was nighttime, so I guess that would be regular dreaming. And it had a complicated plot, terribly complicated. A lot of the times they'll just throw out a word that I'm like, oh, have I heard that word before? I guess I have. And they're just like, beta this, Charlie that, blah, 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 blah. It's a lot of military speak, or I guess intelligence speak that I am not fluent in. So, also, this is a point that I get with a lot of actors in roles that it's not that they're not suited for them, it's just they don't make it believable. And that is that I do not believe that Rachel Weisz was a doctor for 1 second. I do not believe that Edward Norton was a government agent for 1 second. And it just didn't pull it off for me. I can believe Jeremy Renner was a spy, or some sort of weird meta thing. But other than that, I was like, no, I don't think you're a doctor. A lab coat's not gonna do it. And that ending song, okay. But overall, it's a good movie. You can go see it. It's a lot of fun. It cost me $10 to go see it, so I'm not mad about the price of anything, because when I usually go see movies in DC, they're like $20. So I'm happy to see 2 movies for the price of that. But yes, I also watched Suits tonight and lots of other stuff, and yeah, I will see you later.